Hello friends, a new Sparsh instruction dated 9th October 2024 has been issued by PCDA in respect to NRI pensioners. With the subject Sparsh services to NRI and Nepal domiciled Gorkha pensioners drawing pension through Sparsh. Non-resident Indians who are settled abroad as well as Nepal domiciled Gorkha opting through banks in Nepal are getting their defense pension/family pensions through Sparsh. However, due to geofencing applied on Sparsh pensioners portal, they are not able to access their logins from regions outside India. PCDA pensioners Prayagraj had earlier notified 5 email IDs for submission of life certificate for annual identification of NRI pensioners/family pensioners as per their service category. The said instruction stand superseded after issue of this notification. In order to streamline the services of Sparsh to NRI and NDG pensioners, a dedicated email ID has been created. The new email ID is as under sparsh@government.in. So, what are the facilities that the NRI can avail? The above mentioned email ID may be used by NRI/NDG pensioners drawing pension through Sparsh to avail following services of Sparsh: annual identification, to submit annual life certificate, initiate family pension, to report death of existing pensioner and or start of family pension to next of kin, report employment, for reporting employment, re-employment in case employed in government outside India, then to update email for receipt of notification of payment etc. from Sparsh. This email ID can also be used for updating Adhaar PAN of active pensioners in Sparsh. As for the My Documents, you can obtain Form 16 PPO copies also through this email. You can also register grievance related to disbursement. Services for NRI and DG pensioners through dedicated email proposed in this notification is an additional means to register a request in Sparsh. The process for using Sparsh services through login credentials by the pensioner or through Sparsh service centers will continue if they access Sparsh within Indian territory. So this is an additional way of communicating to PCDA. So while sending emails, NRI and DG pensioners will mention the subject of the email as name of service mentioned above in bold, rank and name of pensioners, Sparsh PPO number for proper segregation of email to accord due priority. Let us assume that you want to send a life certificate. Then what should be the subject of such email? The subject for such email will be annual identification hyphen rank and name hyphen your Sparsh PPO, and then you can mention whatever you want to mention in the body of the email. Now let us assume that you want to update your Adhaar PAN with Sparsh. So the body of the subject of the email will contain update Adhaar/PAN hyphen your name and rank and hyphen Sparsh PPO number. Now we will move to the next part. Acceptance of request will be subject to verification of documents received. Pensioners are requested to ensure that requirements mentioned in attached annexure to this notification is completed while forwarding their request. Acknowledgement for registration of request and final response will be notified back to the sender/pensioner through email only. Pensioners are requested to wait for receipt of acknowledgement of registration against their request and avoid duplicity in submission of request. The token number shared in acknowledgement could be used in future references for locating status if no response of settlement is received back. A request received on said email from Sparsh pensioners who are residing abroad and NDG pensioners who are receiving their pension in bank account of Nepal will only be entertained. Other pensioners are requested to use their portal account for availing Sparsh services. So clearly, if a person is moving temporarily to any foreign country, then they cannot use this facility. Now, what are the requirements that should be fulfilled before you send the mail? Requirement for submission of request by NRI and DG pensioners. NRI and DG pensioners will ensure that following requirements are completed while forwarding the request for incorporation into Sparsh. This will help in prompt registration and processing of their request in Sparsh. So for annual identification, what should be done? For annual identification, this request will be used to submit life certificate for complete annual identification for continuation of pension. NRI and DG pensioners will ensure that life certificate is invariably attached with their mail. The life certificate should be signed and stamped by any of the following officials of the country where the pensioner is residing. Officials of Embassy/High Commission of India/Mission Abroad, Consuls of Indian Consulates, officers of an Indian public sector bank attached to the branch in that country, a notary public, or officer of pension paying offices functioning under aegis of IE Nepal. So what all you should avoid while submitting life certificate? You should avoid illegible or incomplete life certificates or certificates issued by unauthorized person which will not be accepted. Pensioners may ensure that clear and legible copies are attached with their email. This is to inform that Sparsh accepts life certificate anytime during the year and it remains valid for 12 months from the last date of certificate identification date captured in Sparsh. NRI and DG pensioners can submit their life certificate at any time during the year to avoid rush in the month of November each year. Next, identification due date is mentioned with monthly pension payment details which are being shared every month to Sparsh pensioners on their registered email. Pensioners are requested to get their email updated/registered with Sparsh if not yet done. This will help them in submission of request life certificate to Sparsh well in time. Now, how to initiate family pension? This request can be used for reporting death of any existing NRI and DG pensioners or requesting start of family pension on demise, disqualification of existing NRI and DG pensioner. Reporter/NOK will ensure that death certificate issued by local civil authorities should invariably be attached with their email. In case any NOK for starting family pension is available, following details of NOK would be required: name, relation, date of birth of NOK, Adhaar, PAN if available, complete address with zip code, email of claimant to receive notification, Indian mobile number if available could also be provided. So bank account details for NRI pensioners, bank account number, IFSC number and type of account with saving or NRI etc. For NDG pensioners, bank account number, name of bank, only Nepal SBI Bank and Everest Bank Limited are accepted for NDG pensioners. You should also attach a copy of cancelled check which should be attached for claiming family pension. Once notification for sanction of family pension is conveyed/received, NOK has to submit life certificate as per item 1 of this annexure. NOK has to ensure that life certificate for first identification is after receipt of notification of sanction. So the life certificate will be similar to what the pensioner submits when he or she is alive. You can also report employment in government outside India, and while reporting the employment, certificate issued by the employer indicating the details of employment with rank, pay scale etc. should be attached with their email. If you are reporting employment, then you should also mention whether medical facilities from the employer is available to you or not, and discontinuation for employment can also be done by duly attaching the certificate. Now if you want to update the email ID, that also can be done through the email ID provided. NRI and DG pensioner can submit request to update their email ID for receipt of notification of payment from Sparsh. Updation of Indian mobile number will also be allowed to utilize Sparsh services within Indian territory. So you should update both mobile number and your email so that when you are in India you can use that facility of Sparsh. You can also update Adhaar and PAN, which you can submit the request by updating their PAN if available. In absence of PAN, deduction of higher tax in Sparsh will also be applicable as per prevalent rules in India. NRI and DG pensioners can submit requests for obtaining Form 16, statement of account, copy of their PPO for their record purpose. Being personal financial documents, these documents will be shared only to email registered with Sparsh. Monthly pension payment details are shared through email. Hence, request for sharing copies of pension slip will not be entertained. Pensioners are requested to register their email to ensure receipt of periodic notification from Sparsh directly. You can also use this email for raising grievance. NRI and DG pensioners can submit their grievances related to disbursement of pension. Pensioners are requested to give the details in brief along with the request documents if required for better understanding of the issue. With this, I end this video. Meet you with the next video. Till then, goodbye.